Music has so many functionalities, no doubt, whether it be as medium in itself, in conjunction with other media like the cinema, and last but not least, gaming. Just try and think about the score of old Disney movies like The Lion King with the African choir and native instruments being played in the circle of life. Or the sound of the hollow reverberated sounds of the steel drums in The Little Mermaids Under the Sea, which oozes the ocean floor. Or how some horror movies and thrillers use an interval known as the Diabolus in Musica, the devil in the music, or the tritone interval, which is a very tense and eerie sounding interval. These are all examples of music that creates and supports the atmosphere of what is presented on the screen, and this is no different in Final Fantasy VII. To me, many of the OG tracks however still feel more impactful than the remake versions, which is interesting because I think we can safely assume that recording quality has significantly improved over the years for the medium. They still use the music from the OG, however remake is still quite true to the OG music melodically. So why is the music of Final Fantasy VII OG so impactful? First of all, let me show you 2 clips.
What do you know?
Marlene.
Daddy, you're home!
That's right, Angel,
Welcome
I
back.
am. Have you been a good girl?
Yeah, I've been helping Tifa.
Oh, you did you? Well, well.
You made it. Where'd you get that? I can't remember the last time I saw a real one. Huh? How sweet. When did you get so thoughtful?
Guy can change. Has been 5 years.
Huh?
I need to talk to Barrett.
Right. Come on in.
My money. I'm still waiting on it.
Right. About that. We should talk outside.
Daddy? Did the people who died all return to the planet?
Of course.
Then take a step back and think about in which scene, as a newcomer, you feel that you made most notice of the music. Personally, I feel like the OG version of Tifa's Bar is way more present and impactful. But why is that? The answer might not be that advanced. First of all, let's regard the silent movie genre. They have a lot in common. They both have silent protagonists, check. They have music, check. Later, silent films added accompanying text. In FF7 we have dialogue boxes, check. And it's black and white, uncheck. Final Fantasy VII even has another struggle, because facial expressions and detailed movement are lacking due to the way the characters are built up by very basic geometric shapes. Although you are almost never in doubt what the characters try to express, but that's another story for another day. You could argue that silent films featuring Charlie Chaplin, for instance, has minimal facial expressions as well, but they are still recorded humans and not polygons limited by technology. Some early Disney shorts like Silly Symphonies and the full feature movie of Fantasia are wholly instrumental and little to no dialogue at all. Dialogue and ambient sounds distract the viewer from committing wholly to the music and focus their attention elsewhere, generally speaking. Remember entering Cosmo Canyon for the first time? The music is very tribal in nature with synthesized cymbals and drums. Then the flute kicks in, you walk into town and you see the giant bonfire place in the middle and the dimly lit torches around town, and you just know what kind of place Cosmo Canyon is. In comparison, you can take a listen to the Maker Reactor theme. The first you notice is the ominous first few beats that are instantly accompanied with a hissing sound. You can feel the valves turning on and off, you hear and feel the pipes leaking and hissing. It's almost like someone is banging on metal as well, and it is just raw and industrial. Then the digitized choir kicks in and makes it all the more eerie. You know you're in a reactor, but not only do you know, you feel it, and it's cold, abandoned, sad, but also very much a real thing in that moment and time. Enter the remake version. I love how they kept true to a lot of the music from the OG Final Fantasy, and some tracks definitely benefit from getting a fully orchestrated and not synthesized version. However, I do not believe the Maker Reactor theme is one of them. Just take a quick listen. Even if it was due to optimization related matters regarding loading times on the PS1, it seems to me like the more artificial, harsh and industrial sounding instruments complement the Maker Reactor a lot more compared to the strings ensemble, where it keeps the eeriness intact instead of being almost claustrophobic and tight in the original, possibly also due to the 4:3 aspect ratio of the old version. It has opened up a lot more. Not only is the remake of course seen from a third-person perspective and will naturally seem bigger, but also melodically, the fully orchestrated soundtrack accompanied with a heavy applied reverb makes you able to breathe more. The hissing sound is not as pronounced at all and takes away that industrial breathing feeling you get from the pipes and valves. It still sounds great and the quality is excellent, but to me, it just isn't as impactful as the original version. On some notes, the music in the remake got improved, and Nobuo Uematsu wanted the original FF7 to be more like a movie with no repeated tracks and more cinematic and epic, although not over the top music. For instance, every scene he wanted to be sad, but beautiful, and not emotionally exaggerated. Another example is the Dreamweaver boss in the remake, which is just beautiful in musical execution. It basically uses Jenova's theme throughout the battle, and what I love about this track is that it ramps up as the battle escalates.
Could this be a trap?
Don't worry, the elevators are safe.
In phase 1, you have your fully orchestrated setup with a great sounding choir, which almost reminds you of Dark Souls levels kind of ominous. The main riff is flowy and reserved.
There! What the? Can you handle this?
Let's do this.
phase 2 of the battle, however, the first tempo increase happens, the choir gets more aggressive and the theme becomes more pronounced and more beats from the original theme are introduced.
Here goes. Cut.
It is all still very much orchestrated and grandiose. Into phase 3, the main riff kicks off with the so well-known synth sound. The theme is now fully pronounced, an electric distorted guitar a la Black Mages or Advent Children is added to the mix, together with some aggressive but not overly so drums into a just home. This track, with being deep in combat, made my arms turn into blood chicken breast instantly. They have done it in a way so most people might not notice the underlying theme, hiding underneath, waiting to submerge and just grab you in before phase 3. And they will grab you, especially as a long-term fan. Even throw in parts of One Winged Angel just so as you do not forget a certain silver-haired antagonist. Speaking of submerged, it is not the first time that FF7 has thrown in bits and pieces of the main character themes and other scores in totally different places. On a bit of a stretch, when being in the submarine in the original, this theme plays. It is called The Secret Sleeping in the Deep Sea, and it has some of the tonal features as Aerith's theme, but very rearranged. This is one of the less obvious examples, but it's nice when details are added in music like that. I still have a very biased love for the original Jenova's theme and the original soundtrack in general, but the remake version is one of those strong contenders to trump the original version, and I was so happy to witness this myself. It still remains to be seen what changes they are gonna make with future scores. A lot of them were also introduced like music discs, but again heavily rearranged and in some regards totally different genres than the originals. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe and comment if you want more content like this. Also, if you have any ideas for other videos, comment down below as well. Sigh out.